Hello and thanks for staying with us on ASEC Television. You are welcome to the newspaper review section of our programming. My name is Sunday Ayami. We begin with the Daily Trust this morning and to say delegates arrive in Ibadan amid calls for caretaker committee. PDP convention delegates arrive Ibadan amid call for caretaker committee. And again, there, right on top of that story, you see Gombe State Governor Inuwa Yahaya presents 2026 budget of proposal of 535.69 billion tax budget of consolidation to State Assembly. We go down the paper, you see some other stories there. Let's go down. You see how I managed diabetes for 26 years, 75-year-old man. How I managed diabetes for 20 years. That's coming from 75-year-old man. Rep ask WAEC to suspend CBT for 2026 exams. Well, we wouldn't know why they arrived at that decision. Nigeria inch closer to 2026 World Cup ticket. And the last but not the least, there you have marketers welcome suspension of 15% fuel import levy. And we move to the next paper where you have a Friday leadership. The banner story there is mixed reactions as federal government suspends 15% fuel import tax. Mixed reactions as federal government suspends 50% fuel import tax. That's I think another cheering news there that just came in yesterday. Then we move on to Blueprint. Blueprint says there's no genocide in Nigeria, says AU chief. That is coming from the Blueprint. No genocide in Nigeria, says AU chief. Well, we want to believe that. Let's hope that is true, that there is no genocide in Nigeria, because both religions, that is Muslim and Christians, are targeted by the bandit. So that's why an AU chief here is saying that there is no genocide in Nigeria. We just hope that is very, very true. Counter negative narratives. Idris urges communication experts. Counter negative narratives. Idris urges communication experts. And I want to believe that is the Minister of Information, Nigeria's Minister of Information. Let's move on to the next newspaper now. And that will be the Vanguard. The Vanguard says, no religious persecution, genocide in Nigeria. That is credited to Idris Tuga, AU. No religious persecution, genocide in Nigeria. Credited to Idris Tuga and AU. Then we write that there, PFN asks Trump to support Tinubu against insecurity, rejects military threat. Trump echoed what Nigeria of good conscience have been saying. Trump echoes what Nigerians of good conscience have been saying. So, I don't know those Nigerians that have a good conscience more than the other, but that is what Trump said. Then inside that Vanguard, you also see below there, you see Osimhen shoots Super Eagles past Gabon. That is in one of the playoffs that took place yesterday, where Nigeria recorded a 4-1 victory over Gabon. And at least we are made to know that Nigeria is going to meet Congo, that also demolished Cameroon. Very, very unusual. Very, very. Cameroon is a good football nation in the African continent. But yesterday, they were riddled out by Congo. So that football can go either way. You can just imagine that. We'll go to the next newspaper now. We take the Tribune. Tribune here says, I have respect for military, but abhors lawlessness. Credited to Wike. I have respect for military, but abhor lawlessness. Credited to Wike. FCT ministers carrying out his statutory responsibilities, but according to Falano, ex-CDS Irabo falls Wike's action. We are also made to know that Wike had called some people who advised him not to even go there before that incident of 11th of this month. He ought not to have gone there if he had taken advice to those that advised him earlier not to have gone there. But again, the rest is history. And it's only the ripple effects that we are all discussing now. We move over to the next paper, The Guardian. The Guardian said victim bears scar, endure trauma as law remains on paper. The Guardian. Victims bear scars, endure trauma as law remains on paper. Of course, we all know that there are so many decisions. There is Anti-Torture Act 8 years after. Anti-Torture Act at 8. Victim bears scars, endure trauma as law remains on paper. Nobody, to the best of our knowledge, had been caught in the web of this Anti-Torture Act since it was enacted 8 years ago. You are being victimized, traumatized, and you go home. That's if you are lucky that they release you. And that remains scars. Then below the Guardian, you see confusion. Crisis swell around PDP convention amid conflicting court orders. Confusion, crisis swell around PDP convention amid conflicting court orders. Beside that, you see AU chief dismisses genocide claim as Obi task editors on nation building. Let's go over to the Punch. We have delegates, Ibadan convention, that's Ibadan PDP convention. PDP delegates arrive amid Saraki's cancellation move. So you can see the delegates at this time would have been confused whether to head to, that's those outside Ibadan, if they are to head to Ibadan for the convention or stay put. We know the party is sharply divided into two now. One faction loyal to the FCT minister and the other loyal to Damagu. So whichever. And again, aside from that, recall 2 days ago, former Jigawa State governor got an injunction stopping the PDP convention. So we don't exactly, even the delegates don't exactly know what and where to go now. Do they head straight, just like Punch has said now, PDP delegates arrive and meet Saraki's cancellation move. So which means some of them are already in Ibadan now. Then below the Pep Punch, you have a National Assembly shift WAEC CBC adoption to 2030. National Assembly shift WAEC CBT adoption to 2030. Besides that, you see genocide review, don't panic, PS Morgan tell Tuga. Genocide interview, don't panic, PS Morgan tells Fuga. And the next day is airlines reject fresh $11.5 NIS fee. That we now go to Sporting World now. The first sport paper there is the Matrix Sports. Nigeria to tackle DR Congo in playoff final after thrilling 4-1 victory over Cameroon. Nigeria to play Congo after thrilling 4-1 victory over Gabon. So you just can see that there's Matrix Sports now. Then we have Punch Sport Extra. After Matrix Sport, you have Punch Sport Extra, and that's going to be our last paper for the day. You have 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier, Nigeria 4, Gabon 1. Matching on is another story there. Eagles cage Panthers to reach World Cup playoff finals. Faces DR Congo in next match. So you can see conflicting, like the newspaper, aside from the sports stories now, what we saw earlier in the core newspapers, PDP is completely in disarray. Completely in disarray. If like somebody said a while ago that what they need now, or what they are waiting for now, is an undertaker to do the final job of PDP. Of course, you know, few months ago, the main characters in PDP had left and joined ADC. So they are even happy with what is going on now. And again, the faction that is loyal to PDP, we don't even understand if those people are willing to come back, build a party. That people, those are loyal to the FCT minister. If they are trying to build a party to a formidable bulk, as it used to be before. But again, well, let's see. We keep our fingers crossed. We are not politicians. We are only telling you exactly what we noticed out there, and somehow feel for them. Feel for all the parties, not just PDP. We feel for all the parties, and hope that by the time 2027 comes, the election in 2027 comes, Nigerians should be able to have a better deal. And that's the newspaper review for today. We hope to see you on Monday when we come out with a fresh edition. Thank you so much for watching. My name still remains Sunday Ayami.